We haven't done anything yet. We're hoping it's a long road ahead for us.
It's going to be a battle. It comes down to who wants it more.
It's a new level of crazy in the playoffs for sure.
Everybody, this stage is set. It's Montreal, it's Buffalo. They're meeting in the playoffs for the first time since 1998. Buckle up, it's going to be a good one. Welcome, everyone, to a new episode of Leading the Charge. I'm 7 Sports Director Matt Beauvais. Admittedly, when we decided to make Leading the Charge an entire year show, I was thinking to myself, what am I going to be talking about on Monday, May 4th at 7 o'clock? Well, how about the Sabres getting ready for a second-round matchup? Let's show you the entire slate of how this series shapes up. Game 1 coming up on Wednesday. Game 2 on Friday. Both of those in Buffalo. Going on the road, Game 3. That's Mother's Day, and then we'll see what happens after that. Those other times to be determined. This is going to be an incredible series, and hearing from the Sabres earlier today, it feels like they also realize that.
We need to get our home game in a better place. We know that we're going to have to win games in this building. Knowing that we were a good road team in the last series, but we got to improve that. There's a good part of both sides of the special teams. We need to improve. We want to continue to improve. This isn't about just moving on to the next series, and we got to improve some stuff.
You know, they're a lot of speed, a lot of skill. You know, they play with a lot of pace. They're well coached, so it's going to be a good test for us. I think they're kind of a younger team like us, so that's going to be fun.
We know them, they know us, so it's going to be a battle. It comes down to compete. It comes down to who wants it more every shift. Puck battles, box outs, stuff like that. It's going to be so tight, so it'll take a lot to score goals in this series, I think.
All right, these two teams very familiar with each other, obviously playing in the same division. The Sabres and Montreal split the 4 games they played earlier this season. 2 wins for the Sabres, 2 games for Montreal. I actually think they both had the same amount of goals during the regular season as well, so this one's close. The Sabres finished with only 3 more points than Montreal in the entire regular season. So yeah, I mean, I think if you look at all of the matchups in the first round, in the second round, this one probably has the most juice. Now, one of the things that I saw a ton on social media last night when we found out it was going to be Montreal was Sabres fans begging other Sabres fans not to sell their tickets to Canadiens fans. Listen, Montreal may be the most passionate fan base in all of hockey. That team travels incredibly well. Well, that's something that my colleague, Jeff Russo, is talking about today. And he also is just talking about how expensive those round 2 tickets ultimately are.
There's high expectations on both sides.
Buffalo and Montreal. It's a second-round showdown of 2 of the best markets in hockey.
The demand is huge.
Nick Giamuso is president and CEO of VIP Tix, a locally owned ticket marketplace, and says there's already strong demand from both sides of the border for games 1 and 2 in Buffalo.
Southern Ontario is just right across the border. You know, it's a short commute. There's a lot of Montreal fans that live in Southern Ontario. And it's going to be a great series.
As of Monday afternoon, the get-in price for Game 1, around $370 on the secondary market. Giamuso says ticket availability has increased from round 1 against Boston, estimating there are roughly 2,500 tickets listed for Wednesday's game across all marketplaces.
The fans that I'm talking to are selling their seats now so that they can afford to go in the final rounds.
And Giamuso says Montreal fans are taking notice.
You'll be seeing more red sweaters at KeyBank Center than we did previously in Boston.
And that has some Sabres fans, including Mike Monahan, worried about keeping home ice advantage.
They travel very well. I would compare Montreal's fan base to Steelers fans. Like, they're going to be there. You're going to hear them. You're going to see them.
So Monahan took to social media over the weekend, urging Sabres fans selling their tickets to avoid online marketplaces and instead sell directly to family and friends, keeping them in the hands of those who bleed blue and gold.
Put it on Facebook. Let people at work know. Let family and friends know, hey, I got a couple tickets available. Listen, I am the last person that is against somebody hustling to make a buck. Like, go crazy. But let's keep it blue and gold as best as we can.
In Buffalo, Jeff Russo, 7 News.
All right, so we'll see how many Montreal fans ultimately make their way into KeyBank Center. My guess is there will be a decent amount of them. You know, a couple minutes ago when I said this series is going to be incredible, a lot of people think this one could go the distance, 7 games, because these two teams are just so tightly matched. So I called in Chad DiDomenicis from Expected Buffalo to talk about this upcoming series and some of the things that you need to know about as the Sabres get ready to take on the Canadiens. All right, as we shift our focus now to the Montreal Canadiens, joined by Chad DiDomenicis of Expected Buffalo. Chad, been a crazy couple weeks and months for you, but I guess this is what you've been waiting for, right?
Yeah, this is the, I think I've been doing this for like 8 or 9 years now. So this is the first time in all of that it's a playoff season. And it's weird because usually we're full deep into playoff content now. So yeah, I was having a little bit of nervous anxiety about off-season stuff the other day, but I'm like, whatever, we'll deal with it because this is too fun, and this is what we do it for. This is the fun part.
All right, so you're watching the game on Sunday night between Tampa and Montreal. Did you have a rooting interest? Did you think there was a better matchup for the Sabres? Because I was telling people it's kind of like a coin flip. Like I could go either way and convince myself and do the mental gymnastics that either one is better.
Yeah, I went back and forth. I think even in that game, I honestly went back and forth. Because really, I think either team, the way I saw it, is once you get past Boston, you're in a 50-50 coin flip series here with either team. Now, if you would have got Tampa, you have the big stars, Kucherov, Vasilevsky, Point, Hagel, the big names, right? And they know how to win with experience, and they have that. On the other side, Montreal does have the speed to put up with you. They are an up-and-coming young team, too, with a lot of talent that can match you. So I went back and forth. Honestly, probably I would have preferred Montreal, obviously who they got. But it's close either way. It's not to take anything away from either team. It's probably going to be a long series, and it's going to be a battle for sure.
Do you think of, when I think of Montreal, I think of like the Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each
100%.
other with the Sabres and the Canadiens.
Yeah.
It feels like these teams are just so incredibly similar. Is that fair?
Absolutely. They play the same style, both young, both upcoming players. I mean, Montreal made the playoffs last year, and this is the second year in a row they're in now, but it's different. They have goaltending that going into the season was questionable, and even the guy who everyone thought it would be, Sam Montembeault, isn't even in the picture anymore. They have some other guy who's having a really good season, a young guy, and then Alex Lyon's having a good season, and Luke had his moments. The forward group is deep. I think the Sabres have him on defense, but beyond that, it's a super even matchup.
All right, so I do want to get to Montreal and some of the kind of the specifics with that team, but I also want to talk about the Sabres too. How do you like their game at this point, getting ready for the second round? The first round kind of went as I expected, maybe a little bit different game to game than I was thinking. Thought they'd beat Boston. I thought they were the better team. How do you just feel about the Sabres right now?
Good. I think there's obviously some moments within it, and you're going to have it in any playoff series, right? You're going to have your off periods or your off games, and you don't look the best, but their style of play with their speed and their forecheck, which we've seen is successful in making long playoff runs. The Panthers did it, other teams too. That style coming through in what I would say 4.5 of the 6 games, I think builds some confidence in me that they're going to be able to do that going forward. And I think they're going to need to. It'll be more open. This isn't going to be a muck it out mud game from game to game. I don't think we saw against the Bruins, but we saw Montreal. They can lock it down if they need to too, and the Sabres can do it. So they have to be ready to play both ways. But I'm pretty confident because they did it for the entire first round that they'll be able to sustain that moving forward.
As somebody who follows along with all of your work and consumes your content, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but would you think the biggest concern is the Zucker, McLeod, Quinn line? Is that kind of the biggest fear, I guess, going into this series?
Yeah, because that was really the only line that I feel like I didn't get a lot out of. If anybody of those 3, I would say Quinn probably looked the most dangerous, but even that, I think as the series went along, we kind of started to see some of those not taking shots, staying on the perimeter, some mistakes. Not a lot of, we didn't see a lot of that at the end of the season. He's picked up his forechecking game. He was playing better, and that seemed to creep in. And that could be a confidence thing. I don't know. But it's weird for me that all the other 3 lines around them have really had some rotations, some shifts for the most part with the players. But that line has stayed together for I don't know what, Matt, like 2 months now, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird that Lindy just refuses to go away from it. Maybe you could have got it if you would have put Norris in Game 5, and you could have put Norris in that center spot there and bumped McLeod down and left Ostlund in. But with that injury now, that's out of the way. Maybe Carrick, if he does come back, in this series at some point, based on what was said today. That can shift things around. But yeah, who he's going to match them up against, for sure is a concern to me.
All right, so actually what you just mentioned, that part about Sam Carrick, earlier today we learned that Sam Carrick might practice tomorrow. He's meeting with Sabres doctors. That would be great news for the Sabres. All that said, we don't know when he could return to the lineup, but just getting him back to practice would be a very good sign for the blue and gold. All right, more of my conversation with Chad coming up on the other side of the break. We're going to specifically talk about the Montreal side of things. Don't go anywhere. Leading the charge. We'll be back in a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone. By this time on Wednesday evening, the puck will have dropped as the Buffalo Sabres welcome the Montreal Canadiens to town for the second round of the NHL playoffs. Obviously, these are two very talented teams. They're two of only 4 teams left in the Eastern Conference. But what do you need to know about the Canadiens in this upcoming matchup? Here's more with Chad DiDomenicis from Expected Buffalo.
On the Montreal side of things, who's the X factor? And once again, I know goalies are easy to say. Anybody immediately come to mind on that side?
Yeah, I mean, Dobish is definitely an X factor because we saw it against Tampa Bay. If they're not playing their best, they're not scoring, he can really steal a game for you. So Dobish for sure. It's interesting because if you look at the way the series went for Montreal, their top guys didn't produce very much. Slafkovsky had a hat trick in the first game, but didn't see the point sheet the rest of the series. Caulfield had 1 goal. Suzuki, I think, only had 1 goal until he scored that crazy deflection in Game 7 for the first goal. Demidov, I don't think he has any goals. So it's hard to think that you'd be able to hold all of them down again. But really, for me, if I had to pick one, if there's a game wrecker in there that could score from anywhere on the ice, it's Caulfield. And not only at 5-on-5 with the power play too. So keep trying to frustrate him. The one thing I went to school on was Tampa Bay put Cirelli and Hagel on him for most of that series to shut him down. Again, 2-way forechecking, can play offense. That to me is okay. Go to school and put Benson and Doan against him. Make him play defense, make him play on the walls, speed, take away space, all of those things. That's what I would do if I was a coach, but I'm sitting here not the head coach, so we'll see where they go with.
The numbers are not insane, but I also think of the importance of special teams in this series and hey, the Sabres eventually are going to have to capitalize on the man advantage. And I also think about, hey, this is a lot harder of a team to slow down when you are down than the Bruins. How do you think about that heading into the series and just kind of the special teams element?
Yeah, I mean, this is I think Montreal actually finished 1 spot below the Bruins in power play percentage in the regular season, but I just think they're more lethal. Really, that power play kind of flows through Pastrnak, and especially when Geekie wasn't going, it was just Pastrnak, and that was really it. Montreal, they'll get you with anybody. Like I said, Caulfield, Suzuki, Demidov, Slafkovsky, Hudson, they move the puck around very well. They can get you if you're out of position. They'll get you if you try to cheat, which is something a couple of these guys are penalty killers. While it works, I do have concerns about cheating and trying to get a short-handed goal. So, yeah, I mean, they scored 5 power play goals last round. Now 3 of those came in one game, in Game 1. But you're going to need your penalty kill to step up, and they're going to get their chances. But one of the things I wrote in the article I wrote yesterday is you got to try to keep this game as 5-on-5 as much as you can. It's a closer 5-on-5 matchup, but I still think they're better. But you absolutely can't let that Montreal power play get going. Even if the Sabres get theirs going, you're up tough if that power play finds its groove.
You mentioned Carrick, and I know the news out of Monday morning is hey, Carrick might practice Tuesday, depending on what the doctors say. I think if he's available, that's a pretty obvious. You bring him back in the lineup and probably take out Kozak. Is there anything else you would do from a roster standpoint?
No, I mean, I'm assuming Stanley's going to go back in with the illness, especially with Kesselring played 3 minutes in that Game 6 anyways. Yeah, so he had a rough couple first shifts, and I figured that might be it for him, and it was for the most part. So yeah, I mean, Stanley would get back in, and no, I think you stay with your guys. The one interesting thing here, that I think this series brings in the possibility that the Boston series might not have, with the size factor and the speed, is I think Zach Metza could be the next guy on board instead of Kesselring. And that's because, Montreal isn't this bigger team that's going to try to drive you through the wall. They're going to play with speed. You need your defenseman to be able to handle that and to exit the puck in transition well. So if you have an injury, hopefully not in your top four, because if that's the case, you're in a lot of trouble. But if you need to get him in there, that would probably be the one I would go to over Kesselring, because he more fits this style of series.
Okay, a couple more questions for me. If the Sabres win this series, why? And then counter to that, if the Canadiens win this series, why did they win?
If the Sabres win this series, it's because they continued to dominate with their forecheck and their speed and overwhelm Montreal at 5-on-5. If Montreal wins this series, they got their power play going, and Dobish played the same way he did in the first round.
Okay, last one for me here. How you feeling? I know that these are coin flips. You even mentioned it's a coin flip. You like their chances? You think they do it? Or are you legitimately concerned? Which I think a lot of people feel that way, which I understand. I mean, second round of the playoffs. This is supposed to be difficult at this point.
Yeah, I think sitting here today, I feel good about it. And it is because I think of the difference, I keep going back to it, is the Sabres forwards against Montreal's defense. I think that's a space you could take advantage of them. And I also kind of wonder, it was a long series against Tampa Bay, how, close series, battle, how much that took out of Montreal, and have, in a sense, a quick turnaround here. I know it's a Sunday to a Wednesday, but a quick turnaround, having to go back on the road. And if they get their game, their forecheck, their speed going, and you can just kind of wear down that defense already, and even the roster itself. I think the first two games are going to be important. I know they're in your building, and a series doesn't start until someone loses at home, they say, but I think getting on Montreal right away and maybe trying to eat into that confidence and maybe make them feel tired and have a lot of space is going to be important. So they haven't played the best at home. So I think they're going to need to start pretty hot here this series.
Chad, tell everybody where they can read your work, where they can listen to your work. I've told you this privately. I'm a big fan. You guys do a great job. So tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, I appreciate that. So expectedbuffalo.com is our site. We are those of you who don't know, we are a data-driven coverage of the Sabres. So expectedbuffalo.com. All of our content throughout the entire playoffs, we decided, is free and open for everybody. So you can get in there and see kind of what we do and how we do it, and the coverage we provide. And also our podcast, Expected Buffalo, the podcast, multiple podcasts a week, usually do post-game shows too. So in the playoffs, those are super fun depending on how the night went.
All right. Thank you so much, Chad. I really appreciate you joining.
No problem, man. Thanks.
All right, so thank you to Chad for talking with me earlier today. Like I said, Expected Buffalo, they do a lot of great analytical work following the Buffalo Sabres. Makes you feel smarter when you look up all of their stuff. So it's the Sabres and it's the Canadiens coming up on Wednesday. We're going to talk about it just a little bit more coming up on the other side of the break. And one of the effects of the Sabres still playing this long is all of Western New York has hockey fever. I'll explain in just a minute. Welcome back, everyone. Hey, really, really cool. Joe Mack from Williamsville East literally just made his major league debut with the Miami Marlins, one of the top prospects in all of baseball, also one of the most highly coveted baseball players out of Western New York in a long, long time. He just had his first at bat. He grounded out, but has made some really nice plays behind the plate. So congratulations to Joe Mack and all of his family. All right, so like we said, it's the Sabres and Canadiens coming up on Wednesday. This is going to be chaotic because the Sabres and Montreal are playing every other day. Let's show you one final look at their schedule as we get ready for round two. In the last round, there were a couple stretches where the Sabres actually had 2 days off in a row. Not this round. When it starts on Wednesday, it's every other day, all the way until the following Monday if the series goes to 7 games. We'll see how it ultimately all shakes out. Okay, when we were going to break, I mentioned when the Sabres are good, Western New York has hockey fever. And I think if you live anywhere where you're in a residential area or you have a park nearby or you've got a bunch of young kids, you can see that take to the streets. I live very close to a park. And inside that park, there's a hockey rink. I have never seen it as busy as it has been these last couple months. So when I was walking by the park, my daughter asked me, Daddy, can we go out there and play? And I was like, of course we can go out there and play. So naturally I had to buy her first hockey stick. We did that earlier today. Look at how adorable this is. She is 3. She does not know exactly what's going on, but she has seen the bigger kids in the neighborhood go out there and want to play. So I was like, of course we can go get you your first hockey stick. And can we take a moment to appreciate? Hey, that's a nice pass. I think that was tape to tape. So shout out to Elia, who got her first hockey stick. And I know the Sabres, being good, have a lot of people very excited in Western New York. All right, let's show you one look at KeyBank Center. All quiet now. It ain't going to be quiet on Wednesday night. For Michelle and Jen in the control room, have a great Monday, everyone. Talk to you soon.